Officials confirmed one of the three people shooting was rapper King Von from Chicago, who was here last night with...
Breaking. Startling new footage has been made public. One of the three individuals was identified by officials as Chicago rapper King Von, who was present last night with friends. And it could completely alter our understanding of the fateful night that King Von died. The hip-hop community is going to be rocked by what we're about to announce, so viewers, get ready. A recently obtained security camera film that was previously kept out of the public eye seems to show Lil Durk in an unexpected altercation that has the potential to completely alter the story of King Von's death. Is it possible that the brotherhood we all held dear was only a meticulously constructed delusion? There have long been whispers of betrayal, behind-the-scenes conflict, and subtle power struggles. However, this video has viewers asking the same question more loudly than before. King Von, was he set up? If so, what part did Lil Durk play in it? The fans are split, the internet is going crazy, and the F family is apparently in disarray. Emotions are running high as this mystery develops, and the drama in the rap game is reaching previously unheard of heights. Hold on tight, because what follows could reveal one of the most tragic and enigmatic tragedies in hip-hop. There were already many unsolved questions and rumors of mystery surrounding King Von's death. But now that the new video has surfaced online, things have completely changed. Fans believe they were familiar with the tale. A heartbreaking incident that resulted in gunfire at a hookah lounge in Atlanta. But this angle has never been seen before. Everything is altered by this. It began as any other night in the city would. It had been King Von's new mixtape. There was a lot of energy. He had a deep crew. Rumors about a meeting between Von and a person he hadn't seen in a long time were also circulating through the streets. Someone near to near. Would I so? Lil Durk. According to sources, Durk entered Atlanta covertly earlier that day. No entourage, no social media posts, just quiet. People are now curious as to why. Was his day one brother being supported by a friendly surprise visit? Or was there another event? A black SUV pulls up down the street from the lounge in the Bus leaked video, which first surfaced on a burner account with no followers before going viral on Reddit. A figure wearing a low sweatshirt and all black hats emerges. Most people think it's Lil Durk. Minutes before the first bullets were fired, the timestamp was recorded. Even stranger is the fact that Van is seen standing across the street in the backdrop of the video, apparently oblivious to the fact that he is being watched. Although nobody anticipated it, the tension is already high. As the video progresses, the figure gradually approaches the scene with purpose, not in a panic, but rather as a person waiting. The video's comments section went crazy. A user said, "Nah man, that's Durk. Watch the way he walks. Same limp, same posture. That's him. No cap." Another user responded, "Yo, if that's him, this whole thing was a setup for..." Naturally, Lil Durk's ardent supporters hurried to his defense. One person wrote on Twitter, "He wouldn't, not Durk. That's his brother." However, they were also shaken. Though not very clear, the video was sufficiently clear. And then the sound. Poor quality, muffled, yet incriminating. A voice that sounds uncannily like Durk says, "Wait, he comes out. We are going to handle it." The internet went crazy. People began comparing Durk's interviews side by side, examining the tones of his speech, and even using artificial intelligence to analyze his voice. The findings are suggestive, but not conclusive. Then came the unexpected turn. One more video was leaked. This is from a neighboring security camera at a gas station. Minutes after the shooting, it depicts the same person climbing into the passenger seat of a getaway vehicle. The vehicle belonged to a member of UTF's extended network. Shortly after, theories began to pile up. It was attributed to jealousy. King Von was ascending more quickly than most people anticipated. The two rappers' increasing conflict over artistic control and street loyalty was even alluded to by some insiders. Some say it was more business-related. According to an unnamed industry source, Van was on the verge of signing a significant solo contract. Emotions began to flare up. One of them didn't include F, and some people weren't thrilled about it. I got love for folks, but not everybody is real in this business. You've got to watch who's smiling at you but has a blade behind their back. At the time, no one thought much of it, but now it sounds like a warning. Van's sister jumped into the drama almost immediately after the video leak, posting on Instagram stories. Funny how some people act like they are grieving but are actually plotting. God doesn't sleep. She didn't name names, but everyone knew exactly who she meant. Fans started pulling up old clips from interviews and live streams, including one from just weeks before Van's death. Within hours after the post went viral, bloggers, fans, and even other rappers began to weigh in. Some defended her, while others said she was stoking the flames without any evidence. Emotions were running high, and Lil Durk remained silent. No stories, no tweets, and not even a cryptic caption. But the plot only became more complicated when an old friend of both rappers, known in the streets as Mello, went live on Instagram and stated, "Nobody is going to speak the truth, so I will." Van knew who was observing him, so it wasn't a random beef that night. He simply didn't think it would go. The pressure reached a boiling point when a former member, now allegedly estranged from the crew, dropped a diss track hinting at betrayal. The lyrics were backed by your bro. Didn't even see it. He said he loved you to your face, but he didn't mean it. The rapper didn't name names, but the message hit hard. Fans immediately tied it to Bond's death. The blogs couldn't keep up. He abruptly ended the stream when viewers pressed him for more. There were new leaks, receipts, and rumors every hour. But at the center of it all was this unanswered question. If Lil Durk was indeed present that evening, if he did indeed meet with Vaughn, what transpired in those last few minutes before the 3 surgeries he had left to perform? He made it for 2 of them, and then, following the second surgery, he leaped from the bed, began arguing with the nurse, and asked, "Where's he at?" Then came the DM screenshots purportedly from someone close to Vaughn. And he went, and he died because he went into shock. So he had surgery. How many hours later did Kayla know? Yeah. He fought the nurse. She's the one who told me that. His mama didn't even know that until the shots rang out. See, days before his murder, Vaughn allegedly wrote, "I can't trust none of these dudes anymore," in one of the texts he shared with another ATA affiliate, which they displayed. "I sense that someone is watching me." In another, "Don't let them make up a story if something were to happen to me." Fans were shocked because the story had evolved from a tragic loss to a full-fledged mystery, a street drama that felt like a movie but involved real lives. If the clues were accurate, the betrayal would have been more profound than anyone could have predicted. However, just when fans thought they had witnessed the most shocking turn of events, a voicemail that had never been heard before appeared online, purportedly left by King Vaughn just hours before he passed away. The voice is unmistakable. The audio quality was rough, but the emotion was raw and scared, and now fans believe he had every reason to be. As the dust settled from the initial video leak, the hip-hop community was split in 2. Some still believe in Durk's innocence, standing by the legacy of their favorite rapper, while others are no longer so sure. And just when it seemed like the drama couldn't get any deeper, the Atlanta Police Department made a cryptic statement. "We are aware of new materials being circulated online regarding the events of that night. We cannot comment further at this time." Within hours, the phrase "Van was set up" began trending on X, TikTok, and Instagram Reels, and influencers, podcasters, and even retired street legends began to weigh in, adding to the chaos with their own perspectives. However, the biggest shock wasn't the fans, but rather what happened next inside the ATF circle. The lines and the internet exploded again, and this time it wasn't just fan theories and blog rumors. The authorities were watching, the streets were buzzing, and everyone knew one thing. Insiders close to the crew say that ever since the video leak, the energy in OT has been off. People who used to ride for each other are no longer talking, and group chats have reportedly stopped. Fans immediately deemed Lil Durk's inner circle suspicious because they started locking their accounts, deleting old photos of them with Fawn, and even changing their bios. Behind the scenes, there were rumors of a huge fallout. One insider, who asked to remain anonymous, claimed that Vaughn was family, but he was beginning to move differently. Durk isn't like that. Money, power, and paranoia. It broke the bond. Then, the unthinkable happened. One of Van's former managers, who had remained largely silent since Van's death, came forward in a live podcast interview. "I tried to warn him," he added, his voice trembling. "Van didn't want to hear me tell him to watch his back, especially around individuals he trusted. He was excessively devoted to Durk." The interviewer leaned closer and paused. "Do you mean Durk?" After turning away, the manager said, "I'm saying people aren't who they pretend to be." The video quickly went viral. Fans ripped it up, remixed it, and even turned it into sound bites for reels and edits, when clips of it appeared on all the major platforms. It was an obvious message. The streets thought something nefarious had occurred that evening, but a whole new level of violence was about to break out. A low-light, blurry yet haunting snapshot was shared by a burner account. Hours after Van's passing, it seemed to be a private encounter in a recording studio. Lil Durk is seated at a table with 4 other males in the picture. According to reports, one of them was a known accomplice of the gunman. The caption for the post was succinct but deadly. "Take a look at who joined them in celebrating." The remarks were harsh. "This is not an accident. After Van passed away, they relocated to Cold. They anticipated it." In response, Durk's camp did not issue a formal comment. Instead, one of his top producers tweeted, "Y'all running with fake news. Not everything you'll see online is real," but he quickly deleted the tweet, which further increased supporters' mistrust. Then followed the supposedly same-night studio footage, a silent 5-second clip. While someone pours champagne, Durk may be seen nodding his head. There is a track playing in the background. It's muted, but fans recognize the beat, one that would later appear on a Durk single released after Van's death. A wild theory resulted from this. Was the song already recorded before Vaughn was gone? Or worse, was his absence celebrated on tape? The drama spilled over into Van's fanbase. His cousin, known on social media as Lil Trey, went live and said, "Ain't nobody real no more. We know what time it is. The streets talk. It's just a matter of time before the truth comes out. And when it does, man, y'all are going to be sick." But the story wasn't just living on phones anymore. People started showing up at mural sites holding candles for Vaughn all over again. Some even held signs that read, "Justice for Vaughn" and "Don't trust the industry." It felt like a movement was beginning. And then the feds got involved. Rumors swirled that the Atlanta Police Department had reopened parts of the investigation. Multiple sources claimed that subpoenas were being issued to streaming platforms, phone carriers, and even label executives. One anonymous officer was quoted saying, "There are inconsistencies we can't ignore anymore. New information means new questions, and possibly new suspects." Meanwhile, Lil Durk finally broke his silence. Sort of. He posted a single black screen on Instagram stories. The text read, "Don't believe everything you hear. Real ones know the truth. No name, no voice, just silence." Fans weren't happy, so they bombarded his comments with things like, "You got something to hide. Why are you so quiet if you're innocent? Say his name. Save on." Durk avoided social media for days after that, and the silence was deafening. Then, suddenly, a remix track that featured King Von's allegedly unreleased vocals, layered over a new verse by an unidentified rapper, appeared online. The lyrics are pure venom. "Smile in my face, but you plotted on the TA. Lo, I thought you were my bro. Now you hide him from the smoke." Fans believed it was pieced together from unreleased sessions and possibly dropped by someone close to Vaughn trying to keep his message alive. Within hours, it was trending on SoundCloud and TikTok. Duets, reactions, breakdowns. Everyone had something to say, but the wildest twist was yet to come. A verified music blogger posted screenshots from an email allegedly sent by someone inside. The email outlined a PR plan in the days following Van's death, including instructions to distance the label from any direct connection, focus the narrative on street violence, and suppress rumors of internal beef. It even suggested that all interviews moving forward avoid discussing Vaughn directly. This leaked doc hit hard. The comments were explosive. They tried to erase him. This isn't love. This is betrayal in real time. Van was worth more gone than alive. And just when the chaos couldn't get any deeper, another video leaked. This time, it was from inside the lounge on the night of the shooting. The angle was shaky, probably recorded on someone's phone, but what it showed had fans gasping. King Van is seen walking through the crowd, clearly heated, arguing with someone off camera. Then the camera pans, and for just 2 seconds, a man with a hoodie pulled low steps into frame. Same hoodie seen in the original leaked video. Same build, same limp. Someone yells, "Chill bro, not here." Bond shouts back, "Nah, I told you if I see him, it's up." And then the video cuts off, just 2 seconds. That's all it took. Fans slowed it down, zoomed in, reversed the audio, enhanced the frames, and found what they found. Cack chain, a diamond-studded, odd chain glinting in the low-light dot. The reaction was instant. This confirms it. He was there. They lied to all of us. People started going back through old interviews looking for clues. In one, Durk says, "I wasn't even in Atlanta that night." Now that timeline's being questioned. Hard. As all of this unraveled, the atmosphere inside the music world turned icy. Rappers started distancing themselves. Collaborations were pulled. Interviews were cancelled. Fans could feel it. The tension, the silence, the fear. Some say a storm is coming. Others say it's already here. And as the internet continues to explode with theories, leaks, and heartbreak, one thing is clear. This story is far from over. The aftermath of the leaked The Lounge video sent shockwaves deeper into the ATA camp and the wider hip-hop community. Conversations that were once whispered in private messages were now shouted across timelines and forums. The narrative was shifting, and no one seemed safe from suspicion anymore. Insiders report that ATA's members started turning on each other. Heated phone calls and confrontations broke out behind closed doors. One close friend of the crew shared, "It was like watching a family fall apart in slow motion." People who used to ride for each other were suddenly looking over their shoulders, questioning everything. Amidst the chaos, rumors began circulating about secret meetings happening in undisclosed locations and attempts to patch up the shattered trust, or perhaps to plan damage control. But what leaked from these meetings was far from reassuring. 1. Source claimed Durk was under immense pressure both from the label and from the streets. He's caught between loyalty and survival. If anything comes out proving he was involved, his career could be over. Yet some insiders hinted he wasn't just a passive player, that he might have orchestrated certain moves to protect himself. This speculation reached a fever pitch when a former bodyguard who had worked for both King Von and Lil Durk came forward anonymously to a popular hip-hop podcast. His voice was low and cautious as he said, Van trusted Durk. That trust was real, but there were things going on behind the scenes that even Van didn't know, things that made some people nervous. The host pressed him. "Are you saying Durk was involved in setting Van up?" The bodyguard hesitated, then said, "I can't say for sure, but the pieces don't add up. What I can say is that some folks wanted Van out of the picture, and Durk wasn't completely innocent in that." This statement lit up the internet like wildfire. Fans went through every detail trying to find proof or disprove the claims. Some dug into old social media posts, analyzing subtle hints. Others called for the FBI and the Atlanta police to reopen the investigation fully. But even as the accusations piled on, a different side of the story emerged from unexpected places. Van's mother, visibly emotional, gave a rare interview to a local radio station. Her voice cracked as she said, "I want the truth, but I want peace. My son didn't deserve to die like that. If anyone played a part, I hope they come forward. But we have to heal as a family first." Her words brought a temporary pause too. The chaos was a reminder that behind the drama were real people grieving a heartbreaking loss. Meanwhile, another controversial figure entered the fray. A rapper closely affiliated with ADF but known for stirring the pot started dropping cryptic lyrics hinting at betrayal within the crew. In one viral line, he rapped snakes in the grass. Got to cut them quick. When blood turns cold, don't trust. The click. Fans immediately speculated he was talking about the Von fallout. The teacher's social media accounts exploded with questions, but he refused to clarify, only adding fuel to the fire. The drama wasn't just limited to music, was lured to the hookah lounge under false pretenses. The plan, they said, was to isolate him from his crew. The whistleblower alleged that Durk's presence was intentional, a way to keep Van distracted while others made their move. This revelation sparked heated debates. If true, it meant Durk's role was far more sinister than just being a bystander. In response, some ADF affiliates started distancing themselves from Durk publicly. One rising rapper tweeted, "I ain't taking sides, but loyalty has got to mean something." Another posted, "No family should be torn apart like this." The tension spilled into real life. Reports emerged of physical altercations at clubs and events tied to the F Circle. Security had to step up to prevent fights between supporters of Vaughn and Durk. Amid the turmoil, Durk finally addressed the controversy during a surprise appearance on a popular hip-hop live stream. Visibly tired but composed, he said, "Look, I know you're got questions. I'm not here to feed the drama. Van was my brother. What happened that night? Only God knows the truth. I'm not going to point fingers or make things worse." The statement was met with mixed reactions. Some fans appreciated the humility. Others called it evasive and demanded more transparency. Meanwhile, an underground documentary crew released behind-the-scenes footage showing Van and Durk together just days before the tragedy, laughing, joking, and seemingly inseparable. This footage complicated the narrative further, making fans question if it was really possible for Durk to have betrayed Vaughn, or if someone else was pulling strings. As the drama unfolded, legal experts began discussing potential lawsuits, from Van's estate against Ave or Durk for damages related to his death and the handling of his legacy. And then, as if the story wasn't dramatic enough, a shocking new player entered the scene. A rapper formerly aligned with a rival crew dropped a diss track targeting both Vaughn and Durk, accusing them of street politics gone wrong and calling out what he described as a game of kings and pawns. The track went viral, with fans dissecting every line, wondering if it hinted at yet another layer of conspiracy. Amidst all this chaos, one thing was clear. The story was no longer just about a tragic death. It had become a full-blown saga of loyalty, betrayal, power struggles, and the harsh realities behind the glamour of the rap game. And while some fans clung to hope that peace might eventually come, others feared the wounds might only deepen. But the real question lingering over everyone's heads was this: who really killed King Vaughn? And will the truth ever come out? The saga entered a new phase as more details emerged from all sides, deepening the mystery and the heartbreak. With tensions at an all-time high, both fans and insiders were desperate for clarity. But the story only got murkier. One of the most jaw-dropping revelations came from a leaked conversation between two ATF insiders shared anonymously on a hip-hop forum. In the exchange, one person seemed shaken, confessing doubts about what really happened that night. The other urged caution, warning about the consequences of speaking out. Phrases like cover-up, loyalty tested, and too many moving pieces were dropped without clear context, but enough to send shockwaves through the fanbase. At the same time, a mysterious new account appeared on social media, posting cryptic messages, videos, and snippets of audio. The account claimed to be the truth behind the silence. Its followers grew rapidly, and every post was dissected for clues, sparking renewed speculation about who might be pulling strings behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Durk's silence continued to fuel the fire, though he occasionally posted vague statements about loyalty, brotherhood, and pain. Nothing addressed the specific accusations or the videos that had been circulating. Fans grew restless, and some began demanding a formal response, even calling for an independent investigation. In the streets, rumors circulated about meetings between rival factions of F, where the fallout from Van's death was being discussed like a war council. Some claimed that the original bond between Durk and Vaughn had fractured irreparably, with whispers of power, struggles and distrust that went far beyond what fans could see. Even Van's close friends admitted that grief was overwhelming and complicated by anger and confusion. One longtime associate told a reporter, "We're hurting, but we're also confused about who's real and who's fake. This isn't just music anymore, it's family." Amidst all this, several previously unreleased tracks from Vaughn surfaced. Online, these songs were raw, emotional, and in some cases seemed to hint at his distrust of people close to him. One particular verse that caught fire online said, "Watch the ones that smile the sweetest. They're going to stab you deepest." Fans believed these lyrics were direct shots at those involved in the betrayal rumors. The music industry also started to react. A prominent producer said in a closed interview, "It's sad. This is one of the most talented young artists gone way too soon, and the drama around it is killing everything." Even mainstream media outlets began covering the story extensively. Documentaries, podcasts, and panel discussions debated the implications, the possible motives, and the ripple effects on hip-hop culture. Many highlighted how this tragedy reflected the dangerous intersections of fame, street loyalty, and betrayal. As pressure mounted, legal teams representing Van's estate reportedly started exploring new avenues for justice. Some speculate lawsuits might be filed against people within alleging negligence or even conspiracy. Others believe this could lead to new criminal investigations. Then came another stunning turn. The video sent shockwaves across social platforms. Some hailed it as a breakthrough. Others dismissed it as a stunt. But the damage to Durk's reputation was undeniable. Overnight, fan sentiment shifted again, and conversations about loyalty and trust flooded every corner of the internet. In the midst of this chaos, Bond's family continued their fight for answers. Public statements called for peace, but also justice, with pleas for anyone with information to come forward. They emphasized the pain of losing a loved one, not just to violence, but to rumors and distrust. The ongoing drama sparked deep discussions about the toll of street life on artists and their families. Commentators pointed to the tragic pattern of young talent lost to violence, often complicated by internal conflicts and betrayals. Yet, despite all the turmoil, some moments of unity flickered through. Surprise tributes during concerts, social media posts from rival rappers condemning violence, and charity events honoring Van's legacy reminded fans of the bigger picture, that beyond the drama were real people who loved him. As the story continues to unfold, the hip-hop world watches, waiting for the next chapter. Who will speak out next? Will the truth finally emerge, or will the shadows keep swallowing the answers? One thing is certain. King Van's death marked not just the loss of a rising star, but the beginning of a saga that continues to challenge loyalties, shake foundations, and captivate fans worldwide. So, here we are, right in the middle of one of the most explosive and heartbreaking stories in recent hip-hop history. The leaked videos, the secret meetings, the whispered betrayals. It's a tangled web that has fans shocked and divided. Lil Durk and King Von, once close like brothers, are now at the center of a drama that feels more like a thriller than real. Life emotions have run high, alliances have shattered, and the music world will never be the same. But what's left unanswered? Who really orchestrated that fatal night? Was it a tragic mistake or something far more calculated? And can the family ever find peace amid all this chaos? These questions keep fans glued to their screens, refreshing timelines, watching for the next leak, the next confession, or even a sign of reconciliation. And honestly, you're part of this story too. Every comment, every theory, every share adds fuel to the fire, because the truth is bigger than any one person. Now it's time for you to speak up. What do you think really happened that night? Is Lil Durk innocent, or is there more to the story? Do you believe the leaks and the whispers, or are you calling it all fake news? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if you want us to keep digging deep into the drama. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you never miss a beat on this saga and more explosive stories.